Okay guys, g'day, welcome back to another Dokkan Battle video. Today we have the big man himself, Birth of the Shadow Dragon, Sin Shenron. Kind of built up to be the toughest boss, I guess, in the game during the 8th anniversary, kind of trumping any red zone stage, I guess. This is my third attempt. It's the one I ended up, pardon me, clearing the event with. The missions were what was it? Power of Wishes. 3 Power of Wishes category units on the team. So I opted to kind of just go the full tilt, I guess. The only exception being the LR Vegeta and Trunks from Tanabata last year. I brought them along because they are still that good. I eventually will try and settle on having them as a slot 1 unit to these guys on screen right now, the Z Duo from the 8th anniversary. They link fairly well. I'll probably primarily float the GT Duo where I can or where necessary, but obviously they can play any role, so it doesn't really matter where they end up. Bulma will be on the other rotation to try and maximize the effectiveness of the support that she offers across 2 turns. Obviously, if she floats, there'll be a turn that misses it. And I'll try and keep Broly, Chile, and Lemo here on rotation with Bulma, because obviously with dodge being enabled or not disabled, however you want to look at it, they, when paired with someone like Bulma, share not only 4 links but also a rainbow orb changer, which significantly increases their chance of getting those 7 orbs, so that they're dodging absolutely everything. Otherwise, they might be a bit of a liability. They share exactly the same amount of links with Bulma as what Piccolo does, so it's going to be pretty handy having him on the team as well, should any rotations be a little bit messy, especially at the start of the battle here, but I think we should be all right. We probably want to keep him on turn, pardon me, for the first couple while he's got his guard. That way we can build his passive more effectively, and if there's enough attacks directed at a single slot during those 2 turns, we could be able to get this, I think it's 7 total hits in, 5 for his maximum passive buff, but 7 attacks total to qualify the rest of the passive, which gives him that chance to heal, or sorry, it's a guaranteed heal, full heal if you're under 30% coming into the turn. You just have to have taken 7 hits prior to that. But this team is just so good. I mean, Piccolo doesn't need Bulma or Broly, Chile, and Lemo to link with to be good. He just is that good, and I guess that's kind of the similar conversation as what the GT Duo bring to the table as well. Their ability to sort of sit in any slot and perform incredibly well is just it's invaluable. And you know, the Z Duo relying on sheer defense can be a little fragile, especially at the beginning of the fights. But the rate at which they build up, especially if they're allowed to, triple or even quad super, which is something that is possible for them to do, it really starts to get out of control. It's a shame that the Trunks and Vegeta that you see on screen here came in at turn 3. Obviously, that late start stops them from stacking at a rate that is more than, you'd prefer them to be on turn 1 or 2 so you can get that stacking underway as soon as possible, but I don't think it'll matter too much. They need, I think it's a total of 5 hits for their passive, and the 18 key super is the only one where they permanently stack. So, looking at the key here, it looks like we should be right, because we've got 2 attacks in the first slot, which also builds key. So, providing we don't dodge both attacks there, we should get hit at least once prior to attacking to bring us up to 18 key, which is exactly what happens. So cool. They will stack here. We got to the 18 key threshold for the Z Duo, which is not the 24 key. So the way that both the new anniversary units work, for those who are unaware, 18 key gives them the chance for an additional, it gives them an additional attack with a high chance of becoming a super, whereas the 24 key passive additional is a guaranteed super. So if you're at 24 key, that's when you've got the chance to, hey, there's the dodge, that's when you got the chance to do 4 supers. Obviously the 4th one coming from the hidden potential system, and the Z Duo being physical. Oh, there's a dodge as well from a dodging supers. Very good. Z Duo being physical means they get the 5 additional by default through their type, whereas you need to use skill orbs to get the additional, as I've done with my 55% GT Duo there. They only do the one super by the looks of it. 9 mil. Like, this GT Duo are just crazy. It's also worth keeping in mind as well, you may see a fluctuation in terms of attack stats when using the GT and the Z Duo. The reason why is that they get extra defense when they're in slot 1, and they get extra attack in slot 2. So they'll look very powerful from an attack stat perspective when they're in slot 2 or 3 floating around. They also get extra ki per orb in slots 2 and 3 as opposed to what they get in 1. So it's very defensive and I guess, what's the best way to phrase this? Defensive and not so... I thought that was going to fall differently. We're not going to get the dodge here with Broly, Chile, and Lemo. If I got the AGL orbs with support attack, however, I think it's smarter maybe just to go the physical orbs because they grant a higher boost to the Broly trio specifically. See, we're taking enough damage as it is, which is a shame. So yeah, this is, I guess, an awkward situation where the rainbow orb changing doesn't really kind of work in our favor. For both Broly, Chile, Lemo, and LR Bulma, Bulma's support activates at 5 key spheres, which I, depending on the turn, I personally believe that's going to be more important than what the dodge is for Broly, Chile, and Lemo. But looking at that kind of damage, I think I might be wrong in that assessment, if I'm being honest. 200 and something K, we're not even on the final phase yet. It's, not good. But it might give us the opportunity to heal up with Piccolo at least, or at least get the revive off with the... I'll probably opt for the standby now, will I? I think that's probably the smartest way to go because there is a really good chance, or I mean, it's almost 100% chance that we get supered this turn. So I would like the opportunity for no matter who gets hit to be able to not see us dead. I could risk it, I guess, but I don't think it's necessary to risk it. Popping this revive off might mean hopefully we get killed in the very final slot. So the GT Duo is the one that gets attacked to see us killed. That would maximize the amount of stacking that we do on this turn, but that's usually unlikely, I would imagine. Actually, it's probably worth using the active skill for these guys here as well, seeing as we've got that extra support. It's not a bad looking active skill, but I don't know. They're lucky they've got crit chance in their passive. Otherwise, it's a bit of a wet flannel, to be honest. It doesn't really do too much. Takes a bit of a shine off the HP of the enemy, but not by a significant deal. And you'll see why now, I guess. Does it crit? It does. See, like, it didn't even do a full health bar of the enemy, even with that crit. I mean, they do stack, so, I mean, if you end up in, like, turn 20 or something and they've started in turn 1, you might find that that's doing a little bit of extra damage, but I still don't think it's enough. So where are we at? 560k for the Z Duo is where they're sitting at currently, but they greatly stack defense on the... Oh, here we go. We're getting, super attack straight away. So no one gets an opportunity to stack on this turn, which is unfortunate. But, I mean, we get at least one more passive raise for Vegeta and Trunks. I mean, that damage, 370k, isn't half bad when you consider that technically they still have type disadvantage. Despite the guard, they still would have taken more damage there than if Sin was, let's say, STR, for example, where he was type neutral. They probably would have taken a little bit less damage, but considering they haven't even built up, they started on turn 3, which means the rate at which they've stacked is neutered pretty heavily. I mean, they've got 1 stack total under their belts when being hit with that super attack, and yeah, without the passive being fully active, it's pretty obvious why it did that much damage. Otherwise, it wouldn't have, I don't think. Actually, this is perfect. We'll get all them. Int and tech spheres are defense support, so everyone will have defense support from Broly, Chile, and Lemo here. 9 orbs total. Every orb goes towards stats for Bulma, and the same goes for the Broly trio. But 7 orbs is the max for Bulma in terms of her passive perks. As I mentioned, 5 orbs is the support for the 2 turns. 7 orbs is the additional super attack that she gets. Are we taking damage here? We're not. Okay, cool. Broly, Chile Lemo doing 2.9 on a 17 key super with defense support as opposed to attack support isn't half bad. But that 100% chance to dodge is just super valuable. I wonder if we'll dodge a super here. I'd like that to happen because that kind of just justifies me bringing them. No, we didn't. Okay, but 6.2. I mean, they're still providing very handy links. I mean, the same links as what Piccolo would be providing, I guess. But also the support. I mean, it's just crazy. Broly, Chile, and Lemo are the key, in my opinion. I'm going to go a little bit off topic here. But their pairing with Bulma on the Power of Wishes category is, I think, a big chance, if done right, to really accelerate the quality in which villains are released in Dokkan. Power of Wishes has a decent villain presence. The Power of Wishes has all the Goku Black and Zamasu units, has the Golden Frieza units, and there was another... Oh, and Demon King Piccolo. So if a new version of any of those units came out that happened to lead Power of Wishes, plus whatever other category that is villain-centric that they're more than likely to lead anyway, that means that you can have Broly, Chile, Lemo, and LR Bulma on one of the rotations on that team. And the big thing about that is not only just Bulma's support, which is just crazy as it is, but Broly, Chile, and Lemo have big bad bosses, which is going to allow you to float any unit that has big bad bosses. Those units will not only have Bulma support, but that link as well, which is going to be massive. It's just enormous. So if hypothetically we got a new Goku Black, for example, and it led Power of Wishes, Time Travelers, and Inhuman Deeds, for example. Let's just say they're the 3 categories that they lead. It doesn't really matter too much. But think about all the Time Travelers you can bring. Obviously, any of the Goku Black Zamasu units who would have been covered under Power of Wishes anyway. Well, this will be interesting. So what, they get another stack there? Their defense is lowered, so it's, yeah, another stack and the passive being active basically neutralized the defense lowering of Sin from the turn before. Okay, that's interesting. I'd be curious to see what had happened next. Oh no, they didn't get a stack because they just attacked then, obviously. Ugh. So yeah, the passive build-up basically nullified the defense lowering. So very curious to see what they would have taken here after a triple super. If I'm honest. But yeah, let's say you got hypothetically like a Demon King Piccolo who led Power of Wishes and Terrifying Conquerors. That means you could have a team with LR Cooler, that rotation, being supported by Bulma on the other rotation. You'd have Piccolo Jr. on that team. It's just, I mean, Piccolo Jr. can already be on a team with Bulma, but there is a lacking of a villain presence to the degree that he would probably like. It's the 23rd World Tournament Goku who released with with Piccolo Jr. Leading Powerful Comeback and Earthbred Fighters, where the Piccolo Jr. is a part of the Earthbred Fighters category. So, is this the triple? Yeah, that's a triple. We're gonna be nice and tanky next turn. Very nice and tanky. I would like to try and get there. I probably should have used their standby this turn because next turn is going to be turn 8, which means LR Bulma will be able to use her active skill. That active skill changes every orb on the field to STR, which is obviously designed to help her nuke. But the reason that's kind of a big deal for the 8th anniversary ZGO is obviously orb collection is fundamental to their standby skill and the rate at which they build energy for their finish skill. So it's usually worth popping that standby skill, coming onto this rotation here, popping Bulma's active skill, and they're pretty much guaranteeing that you'll get a full charge for the finish skill because of the orb changing. And as you probably just noticed, Broly, Chile, and Lemo will have their dodge active again, through int orbs, so we'll be supporting with defense from those guys. So I'll be very keen to see how Bulma's defense will shape up on this turn, where she's basically going to be at her absolute max. So she's going to be supporting everyone twice as much. So what are we at? 278k, I should say, defense. With a full field of orbs, she jumps up to 624k. What? She came on turn 2, so turn 2, turn 4, turn 6, turn 8. Oh, there you go. Dodge super. Thank you very much. 5.2. That's actually respectable damage. That is genuinely really quite good damage for a unit that's going to be dodging absolutely everything and supporting the rest of the rotation. I think that is genuinely good. what was I saying? So Bulma not only has guard and 620 odd K defense, but she would probably have, I think it's 7% damage reduction per turn. So it's turn 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She'd probably have what? A 6? I think that's how it works. It's per turn, not per appearance. Let's just say it's per appearance, just for the sake of playing devil's advocate. She would have a total of, what's that, 28% damage reduction, I believe, or no less than 21 at least, at the very least. So yeah, that's just how crazy she is, given as well that she raises her defense, or at least greatly raises. I'm not sure which one's which on each super. So she would have been just pushing a million defense really there. And the GT duo will finish us off with that KO screen. So let me know what team you use for the Birth of the Shadow Dragon Sin Shenron event. Obviously, I went balls to the wall here to make sure that I got my first clear and I got the missions completed as well. But I dare say I'll be using this stage as well as many of the other Shadow Dragon stages for showcases moving forward. If you have any requests, by all means, send them my way. Let us know in the comments below, or find me on any of the socials. I appreciate you watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.